No, I think just like every time I think about children doing something, I think about myself when I was that age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be so difficult to bring up these conversations with your parents because you're like, oh my god, they're going to feel like I am giving them a task, a responsibility, or to be the complete inverse where you're like, no, I need to take care of this myself because it's my issue. I need to take care of it myself. I need to handle this myself. As a child, every time you think about that situation, there is always a few things that are happening. You're very much afraid of your bully, and at the same time, you're worried about how your parents will react. If your parents are super overprotective and overbearing, they might show up in school and they're like, "Oops, na bully strong, ebu ebu ebu," and that makes the situation 100 times worse for you, like way way worse for you. Or they might do the complete opposite and tell you, "Yeah, fight for yourself. You're take care of yourself." Like, you don't know how your parents are going to react, but regardless, it always feels like it's this daunting issue that you don't want to get into with your parents, and therefore you end up being bullied for longer than you should without finding a solution for a long long time. And as we know, most of our adulthood issues stem from childhood trauma, and childhood trauma does include but is not limited to bullies in school and bullies around, even in church. Like, you'll see a kid who used to be so outgoing. He was always being invited to all these parties. Da, 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 da. Suddenly, this kid doesn't want anything to do with the outside. They used to be downstairs playing with the other children. Suddenly, now they'd rather be at home playing games on their thingy, on their gadgets, right? These are things that can be signs of your child being bullied. And I wonder, as a mom,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever experienced this? Like, your child looking like he's going through a bullying situation, or is your child a bully?
Not really, to neither. But, there are just signs you should look out for. And even sometimes when, we see it mostly in the movies we watch, in the TV series we watch, and you see a child hurting so bad and being so reserved and they're not who they are anymore. And you're like, when your parents are not attentive. And it's usually the task of a parent to just be present and attentive. Even the smallest little things, look out for them. Ask questions, because what do you mean you don't know this is happening to your child? And it feels like a slip. Like me as a parent, I should be doing better. I should have known this was happening. But the thing is, children are also the sneakiest creatures on the planet. They will hide things. If they don't want it to be found out, they will. So I feel like you as a parent, be on the lookout, be vigilant, especially when they start going to school, they start getting into different social circles, there's a new neighbor around, they're going into a new grade. Even the stories they tell you about, when I came from school, I was playing with so and so and she hit me. Just listen. And sometimes it really sounds like garbage. They're just saying a lot of things, but have enough grace for them to just listen to all of that garbage, know all of the names that usually pop up. George did this, Layla did this, just so you know who is who, what is happening. But the biggest sign to look out for is like physical injury.
Absolutely.
Because what do you mean your child is walking around with a bruise or limping or doing this and they can't account for it? And you are not concerned enough as a parent to ask yourself, why does my child have a scar on their face? Why does, all of these things, or you write it off as, oh, they were playing, that's an injury. You better call me the word I'm a helicopter mom or anything. But if my child is coming home with a scar, a bruise, a bump, anything, I'll find out what happened. I will know who is responsible. I will go to their parent and say, hey, you need to put a rein on your child, because why is he hurting other children? You need to do better as a parent. I'd rather fight another mom than just dismiss my child's physical injuries as, they were just playing. Boys will be boys. Don't do that.
I think we've mentioned two major ones, which is a
Mm-hmm.
change in behavior and the physical evidences of injuries and stuff like that. But also patterns of behavior that change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, your child is constantly faking illness. Like, no, I'm not feeling okay. I have a headache. I don't want to go to school. No, I don't want to go to church today. I think I just want to stay in and sleep. I'm not feeling too well. No, I don't want to go to Kamal's house because I want to play an online game with these other people. why would you not be curious to ask your child, okay, but like, what's happening in church? Like, can you? Those are things, those are patterns in the child's behavior that are very clearly avoidant. So, why would someone who really used to like going to church, a kid who used to really like going to school, or maybe not, because I don't think any children really like school, but generally they would be okay with going to school. It's like this one thing you have to do, you have to go to school. Why would they be outrightly trying to stop themselves from going anywhere or being around specific people? That's not an inclination to you that something is wrong, that you should be looking into. That's major, a major, major pattern of behavioral and environmental adjustments on their part to avoid something. So why are you avoiding it? And you don't have to be like, "Bono day when I church." No, that will just make them clamor up even more. Just try and find a way. You know how you talk to your own child. Figure out how to talk to your child and find out what's going on that you do not see.
And another thing is just a change in something as small as eating patterns or sleeping patterns. And these are usually a huge indicator as to what's going on in your child's life. Because especially like teenagers, they're going through their phase, they're moody, they don't want to talk about it. Small kids, all of a sudden, they're finding independence and they don't think it's cool to hang out with their parents or to talk to their parents. So you go through all of these changes and you just don't know how to talk to your child. But a huge indicator is how the sleeping patterns, how they're eating. If all of a sudden your child who had an appetite now picks at their food, they don't want to eat or anything, investigate, find out what's causing all of this. Did somebody mention your weight? Did somebody say something about something? Did you know, sometimes even the food you cook, some children say, oh, you eat stinky food. Did somebody say that? And you look into such things. The small comments people say in passing, they really affect our children, but sometimes we are too caught up in adulting and doing everything that we just don't pay attention to these small things. Or even sleeping patterns. Your child who used to have a very healthy sleeping pattern goes to sleep on time, wakes up on time, all of a sudden does not want to wake up. In the morning, it's a fight, it's a battle to get out of bed. They are always sleeping, or they don't sleep at all and they're having nightmares and waking up. Nightmares especially, that's not natural, that's not normal for children to be scared out of their sleep. So these things happen. My child started getting nightmares, and then I realized it's because he was actually watching the normal YouTube as opposed to the kid version. So the normal YouTube, especially like YouTube Shorts, they usually have those funny
Conspiracy
kids
theories.
and sijui skibidi toilet and all of this. There's so many things that go on and many horror flicks. I don't know why there's so many horror flicks on YouTube. So he's just been consuming this content, and all of a sudden he's having nightmares. It's like, oh, now we need a password. We need a password for. I've become the parent with a password. So yeah, look out for these things and always stay vigilant. Don't rest.
Another thing is, kids are very cliquey nowadays, especially very cliquey. Like, they have their specific group of friends who they only hang out with those specific group of friends. Again, if you are not aware, just watch literally any kids movie, any teenage movie. You will always know there those kids were band, wale wa kuimbaimba choir, kuna wale the smart kids when they're always getting straight A's, all the student congresses, wako. Basically, they're cliques or groups of friends. Now, your child used to be very close with Samantha and Alvin. Very, very close. Sleepovers, oh mom, it's Alvin's birthday, I need to go. Oh mom, it's Sandra's birthday, I need to go. They used to be very, very close. But now suddenly your kid is never mentioning these kids again. Like, what happened? What happened between you and Alvin? What happened between you and Sandra? Like, what's going on? Let me know. The kid is just, always on their own, just a loner. What's going on? Unfortunately, kids can be very ruthless with when it comes to friendships. You do one small thing, you're cancelled. Like when you watch this movie, sometimes you laugh because it's like they pick their nose and like, ew. Now you become booger nose. You itched your boom boom. Now you're grossy with your boogers and your cooties. Long story short, try and understand what happened. Why are they no longer friends with the other person? It could be something as severe as they were actually being bullied by their friends and therefore they decided not to. Or their friend group changed, someone was added and they tried to kick them out. Like it's assume your child is living the same life as you who works in an office setting. Because office settings are exactly the same. Exactly the same. You the clickies, all of these things. So assume your child is living in the same sphere. If you see any change in behavior, the same way you would exhibit a change in behavior of no, I just want to go home. No, I don't want to go out today for drinks after work. No, I don't want to do that. The same things you would do in a situation where you're in your office and you're getting hazed is the exact same thing your child will do, only in a less mature way, in a more vulnerable way. So look out for these patterns and understand that your child needs you more than you think they do.
True that, true that. But just as a
Yeah,
parent,
be keen.
just be keen.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's really the only major job you're given in this life of parenting. Unfortunately, you have to look out for your kid. I think that concludes our show. If you have any more ideas on how to detect whether your child is being bullied in school, are you being bullied at your office? Because I know people bully others in the office. Like, what are some of the things that are happening to you at your place of work and to your children at their schools? Let us know on the number 0770 or catch me on my social media at Kathomi Kathomi and at
At
Turife.
Turife.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.